Hey guys, today I want to talk about social anxiety. It's something that I suffer from, and it's not an exaggeration to say that this is probably the biggest problem I have to deal with. I thought I would just talk a little bit about my journey, how I've experienced it so far, what's working, and my plan to beat this, because this has been going on far too long. It is time that I get over this. So I thought I would just talk to the camera, completely uncut, unscripted. I don't know if this is going to help anyone. I don't know if anyone's going to watch this, but at the very least, at least I'll have a video to look back on, and hopefully when I look back on this in a year's time, this is silly because I'm completely past this. That would be fantastic. So, where to start? I guess start at the beginning. I think that I developed social anxiety when I was about 13 or 14 years old. And I really think that my social anxiety, even now, is linked to my self-esteem. So back when I was 13, 14, I was at my secondary school, and just some throwaway comments by some of the other students. I had really bad acne at the time, very, very self-conscious about that. So yeah, some comments mentioned by pupils, things that you still remember now, even though it was years and years ago. Like they had an impact. And yeah, since then, I just started to kind of say no to some invitations. I wouldn't go out and put myself out there. I'd rather just stay at home where it's safe, I guess. And I never had the chance to actually overcome this. And it's just stayed with me ever since. I wouldn't say it's getting worse, or it's not getting better, which is annoying. But it's just always there, and it's such a deep-rooted thing now that the idea of beating it just seems like such a challenge. But I'll get there. I will get there. So I guess my first bit of advice would be that if you're starting to experience this, maybe you're a teenager, or yeah, you're starting to experience social anxiety, I would say that try and get this fixed right now. This will not go away by itself. So yeah, talk to people, get some advice, learn about it, do something to try and get over this, because yeah, it won't go away. So that was secondary school. Then university. I look back at my time at university. I didn't have a great time at university. I didn't have a huge number of friends. I had a group of friends that I hung out with, but it wasn't a huge number. And university is a time to do all this cool stuff, right? And I wouldn't put myself out there. I would rather stay in. And everyone else is going out to clubs, going out to bars, and I would rather just be inside. So I would say no to those invitations. And then as soon as you say no a few times, people stop asking you, right? So a few instances of me saying no led to a very limiting experience. I found a group of friends elsewhere, so it wasn't the end of the world. But I look back and I talk to people who say that university was the best time in their life. I didn't experience that, and that's a shame. I would love to have had a fantastic university experience. And it all comes down to social anxiety. Fast forward after university, start working. Absolutely no problem. And this is the really weird thing, is that at work, no problem at all. I can talk to customers, no problem. I can give speeches to 30 or 40 people, absolutely no problem. People at work like me. I can form relationships really easy. It doesn't even enter my mind when I'm at work. It's only when I'm outside of work that this becomes a problem. And another weird thing is that it's not all the time, right? So sometimes, no problem at all. I'm going out, I can go to a club, I can go to a party, meet new people, talk to strangers, whatever. No problem. Don't even think about it. And other times, even the simplest thing, like I say, the other day I was buying some clothes, and I was in the queue, and I got to the counter and I was talking to the person, and they were scanning my clothes and whatever, and I didn't know where to look. Like, how weird is that? So I was just looking at the counter. It must have looked so strange. I didn't know what to do, and I just wanted to pay and leave. So things like that, which just doesn't make sense. Like, this is not rational. This is some deep-rooted thing in my brain, and I've got to get over this. I've had this way too long. I have to beat this. Now, something that has helped is I'm starting to get a better understanding of the triggers that cause this, I think. So I can feel it coming on. And what I can do now is, I read about breathing exercises you can do. When I feel it coming on, I can take deep breaths, I can slow down my breathing, and that really helps, really helps. But that's just a bandage, right? That's not a fix. That's not curing the problem. I would like to be in a situation where I don't have to do breathing exercises because I don't feel like this. So if you are suffering from social anxiety, maybe try this breathing technique. Maybe that will get you started. But ultimately, I have to beat this. So I've been reading about this topic, and there are 3 things which I think I'm going to be doing. Well, not think 3 things I will be doing. I'm going to be keeping an eye out for these, what's the word? I've lost the word. Triggers. I'm going to be looking out for these triggers, understanding these better, and because sometimes I have it, sometimes I don't have it. These triggers, I think, are going to be key in really understanding what's going on here. So I need to understand those so I can control them a bit more. Then I need to continue working on self-improvement, right? One of the reasons I got into self-improvement is to improve myself, to make myself, to be proud of myself, make myself into someone to be proud of, to increase my self-esteem. Because as I said, I really think self-esteem and my social anxiety are very closely linked. So I will be continuing to practice self-improvement, self-development, making myself better and better and becoming someone I can be proud of. That's part number 2. And part number 3 is desensitize myself. I've got to continue to put myself in awkward situations, got to put myself into social situations, parties, clubs, whatever. I have to force myself into those places which make me feel awkward, desensitize myself to it. And yeah, I think that 3-pronged attack is how I'm going to beat this. I don't know if this is helpful at all. This is a bit silly, really. But yeah, that's the plan. Another thing, I didn't mention this earlier, one thing that's also helped is, so eye contact is a big one. Again, when I'm at work, no problem. When I know people, no problem. I actually have pretty good eye contact, I think. But walking down the street and someone's walking towards you and you catch eyes and then you look away, or you just look down as someone walks past you, right? It's just so silly. Why would I do that? It doesn't make sense. But one thing I read about, which was helpful actually, is to almost like play a game with yourself. That when you're walking down the street and you make eye contact with someone, the game is that you must keep eye contact with them until they look away. If they look away, you win. If you look away, they win. And when you're going about your daily life, you're walking through town, you're going shopping, whatever, try and win. Try and have more wins than losses. I tried that. It's actually quite helpful. It's not as silly as it sounds. It is actually quite helpful. But again, not a fix. I shouldn't be in a situation where I have to play that game, right? People who don't suffer from social anxiety won't have this problem. So yeah, I guess that's it. My journey, what I'm planning to do to beat it. If you're suffering from social anxiety, I hope this was helpful. I don't know if it is or not. I hope that in a few months' time, next year maybe, I can look back on this and see some improvement. If I do see improvement and I do get past this, I'll make videos on how I did it, because I know a lot of people do suffer from this, and some advice from someone who actually got over it I think would be very valuable. So I'll be sure to do that. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.